Bojidar Semyonov versus Vladislavs Krasovskis. The rivalry continues. Oleg Zok returns and wins gold at European Arm Wrestling Championship. Alex Kordecha versus Tobias Sporong. Oleg Petrenko versus Raymond Antonovich. And finally, Dmitry Trubin having to pull out of top 8 due to his injury. So these are the four topics that we are going to discuss today. Welcome Arm Wrestling fans, I'm Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News. Happy Diwali to everyone. So now if you hear fireworks outside, you know it is Diwali. So Bojidar Semyonov from Bulgaria versus Vladislavs Krasovskis from Latvia. Both competed at the European Arm Wrestling Championship 80 kilos class left and right handed. Before this, they had a long history, long rivalry together, and usually left handed Vlad came on top and right handed Bojidar won. If we talk about their most recent super match at Arm Wars in UK in first week of October, Bojidar won 6-0 right-handed as everyone expected, but all of them were long rounds, long matches. Left-handed, Vlad won 6-0 very comfortably, very dominantly in every position possible. So, as everyone expected again. And it seemed like this is going to be the case for a very long time, every time they are going to meet. But to everyone's surprise, both turned the tides in less than a month. Bojidar promised Engin that he will beat Vlad left-handed next time they meet. And he did exactly that. He defeated Vlad in less than a month from his last loss. And he won silver in the 80 kg left-handed class. Vlad won bronze, and we are going to talk about the gold medalist in just a minute. So it is beyond anyone's expectations and calculations how fast things can change in arm wrestling. Maybe not beyond Bojidar and Vlad's expectations and calculations, because they did that. So before we talk about Oleg Zok, let's talk about another match that a lot of people were eagerly waiting for. Representing the 75 kg class, both left and right handed, Mindaugas Terasaitis from Lithuania and Daniel Prokopchuk from Moldova. Daniel controlled the outside move from Mindaugas, he controlled his top roll and won both right and left handed gold in 75 kg category. Both were close matches, I would say, and leading up to the match, Mindaugas was also providing his point of view and his vision about the tournament, and he also gave some results about the tournaments. So that made it much more easier and enjoyable to follow his journey, to follow his match against Daniel Prokopchuk. And I would suggest if many more athletes start doing this, just talk for a few minutes in your own language. Just share your thoughts about your upcoming tournaments on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, anywhere you want. Then these WAF tournaments, WAF events could be much more enjoyable, much more easy to understand and follow for a large part of the world. I saw Engin Terzi commented that only 200 people were watching the championship online, and he felt bad about it. Not to blame anything here, but I want to add this, that you can only be promoted by someone else if you are willing to promote yourself. Ryan Bowen shared a photo on Facebook and it showed that WAF hasn't even changed the default "this channel is made for kids" setting on their YouTube channel. So live viewers cannot comment, live viewers cannot super chat. So are you looking at this? So clearly whoever is in charge of WAF's social media is least interested in growing its reach. I don't know the exact rules on this, but if there is such clause, then can the money from super chats and ads, can it be used to pay the referees better or for some other function? So unless WAF doesn't want to promote itself, it is really difficult for me to see that anyone else is going to. Now coming to the second topic, the king of forearms, the king of pound for pound arm wrestling has made his return at a very high level in nearly 3 years. Let me give you a brief history about Oleg Zok. Ukraine born, 29 years old, and in my opinion, most dominant pound for pound arm wrestler that ever lived. On November 14th, just a couple of days before Vendetta 50, Andrei Pushkar, Oleg Zok, and Oleg Zok's father was in a car. The car was hit by a truck from behind, and in that accident, Oleg's father and the heavyweight legend Andrei Pushkar died. It was the first time that I got to know that just from the internet alone, how close can we be to one another, the arm wrestling community, how closely we are binded. Because I really felt that loss like it was a personal loss to me. Oleg Zok was severely injured and he was in coma for a very long time. And unfortunately, his golden arm, and probably the best arm in arm wrestling, got completely damaged. After that, Armbets TV posted some recovery updates from the hospital as well as Oleg's home. And it looked almost impossible that Oleg could ever be what he was before November 14th, 2018. Because in 2018, he just started defeating Andrei Pushkar. He defeated him twice. If you remember before that, he was feeling so confident that despite being only 80 kilos, he challenged Devon Larratt for a $10,000 rematch. And many people were favoring Oleg in that match because the first time when he lost to Devon, he was still in his early 20s and lighter than what he was in 2018. Since last year, he has been competing in Russian local tournaments, but this was his first world level tournament, very high level tournament. And his opponent in the final was the Bulgarian Bojidar Semyonov, and Oleg was not able to top roll him. The match restarted after a foul, and Oleg pinned him in a long match, and he won the 80 kg left-handed gold medal. It looked like a controversial pin to many people, but Oleg was in a better position. So clearly, Oleg is not in his 2018 peak condition yet, because he is having close matches in his own weight class, which was a very rare thing before. Tell me your thoughts about this. Can Oleg Zok compete against the heavyweights once again in 2022 or maybe in 2023? So let's get to the third news and discuss a couple of PAL and top 8 matches. Alex Kordecha from Poland versus Tobias Sporong from Latvia. I've been saying this for a long time now. Alex Kordecha is definitely the next big thing in arm wrestling. Only 5-6 years of experience in arm wrestling and already top 10 in the world, both handed. Tobias tried to give Alex a good fight, and in one round he was even causing difficulties for Alex to contain him without the straps. But in the end, Alex was way too strong, way too explosive, and he won the match 6-0 very easily. Oleg Petrenko from Ukraine versus Raymond Antonovich from Latvia. Top 8 95 kg class stage 1 match. Someone commented to ask my opinions about Raymond Antonovich's performance, and all I had to say about this monster is that he scares me. I mean, look at his interview face. How can a guy who wears specs look so intimidating even during an interview? I never thought that I would say this about an arm wrestler, but Raymond genuinely scares me. Anyways, back to topic. Unlike we all predicted, this match was really exciting, and we can say it was a little bit close also. Oleg Petrenko won first 4 rounds, then Raymond won the next 2 rounds when Oleg's arm was gassed out. Although I predicted Oleg to win this match, but this was a much closer match than what I anticipated. And after the match ended, Oleg mentioned some injuries in his arm and not being 100% for this match. Because of these injuries, he kind of looked disappointed with his performance. But kudos to him for advancing in the second stage as a winner. Before we get to the fourth and final news, please don't forget to give me your opinions about the previously discussed topics. Let's get to the fourth and final news. Dmitry Trubin from Kazakhstan, who is, or should I say, was a contender in top 8 105 plus kg class. He is out of top 8 now due to his pectoral injury. And no, this is not a new injury as far as I know. In May this year, Dmitry competed in the Russian Cup 2021 in a left-handed super match against Saragovich. Dmitry won that match, but it was really difficult grinding match for him. He had to jam his elbow and go for the flop press every round to beat his opponent. And during one of the rounds, he tore his left pectoral muscle. And now he will no longer be competing in this season of top 8. And Igor tries his best to delay these matches whenever he needs to, but there is a limit. Even if Evgeny Prudnik is not able to recover by the time his match comes, he may also have to be removed from top 8. So even after the contract stipulations of not arm wrestling right-handed, athletes can and they do get injured or sick before the matches. So some recent history about top 8. The Siberian Bear Dmitry Salayev was in top 8, but then he got arrested for robbery. Link will win the iCard, and the replacement qualifier was between Hermes Gasparini and Alex Kordecha. But Alex wasn't able to compete due to his citizenship issues, so Hermes advanced into the top 8 directly. And now Dmitry Trubin is out, so maybe Kordecha can come back in. I don't know, man, this is getting really confusing. Maybe some of you guys can clear it up for me. So let me post Igor's question in my video. Who would you like to see as Dmitry's replacement? Give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who thinks like you. My name is Pradeep and I thank you so much for watching.